One of federal judges ordered Texas to temporarily suspend the most restrictive abortion law in the U.S. This is the first legal blow to pro-choice groups and the law known as Senate Bill 8. Now, the law that went into effect last month bans abortions once cardiac activity is detected, which is usually around 6 weeks of pregnancy before most women even know they're pregnant. To enforce the new law, Texas is allowing private citizens to file lawsuits against those who help women have abortions after 6 weeks. Last night, the U.S. Attorney General said this temporary suspension of the new law is a victory for women here in Texas, and they'll continue to defend the Constitution. But one legal analyst suspects this ruling won't have a big impact at all.
I ultimately don't think this lawsuit will work for a host of reasons, but I think that in the interim, clinics probably will stay closed. They won't start performing abortion services, at least until the U.S. Supreme Court has a say.
The Biden administration sued the state last month in an attempt to block the bill from being enforced. State officials will likely try to seek a reversal of the decision from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which previously allowed the restrictions to take effect. Now to Arlington. One student is in custody, and school is still shut down this morning after a shooting left 4 people injured. Police say the gunman is 18-year-old Timothy George Simpkins. According to investigators, the shooting stemmed from a fight that broke out in a classroom. The school immediately goes into lockdown and SWAT swarmed that campus. After a thorough search, they determined that Simpkins had fled. Nearly 4 hours later, he turned himself in with his attorney. In the meantime, news of the shooting spread quickly to parents who rushed to the campus. Some even say it's time to take more preventative measures.
Seen this at other schools on the news, but you never really think that you're going to have your child in a situation like this.
I would like for these schools to have metal detectors in order to prevent that.
Well, authorities say one of the victims is in critical condition, another is in good condition, and a third suffered minor abrasions but is expected to be released from the hospital. The 4th victim did not require treatment at a hospital. Now to the Rio Grande Valley area. 9 Republican governors joined Governor Greg Abbott to demand the Biden administration act on the crisis at the southern border. The governor says he and 25 other Republican governors sent a letter to the president 16 days ago asking for a meeting to discuss the issues at the border. Since they have not heard back, they outlined their proposed policies to the public instead.
1. The Biden administration must reinstate the Remain in Mexico protocols, which require asylum seekers to remain in Mexico while awaiting their court hearing. This is a proven deterrent to crossing illegally. 2nd, the Biden administration must finish securing the border, which includes, among other things, finishing the border wall.
Coming up at 6, CW39's Gianelle Giglino will join us live with a full breakdown of what the governor is demanding. Now let's take a live look courtesy of the Sky Tracker Network. We're at Washington, D.C. looking at Capitol Hill. Democrats, Republicans are finally making progress on a deal to raise the debt ceiling with less than 2 weeks to spare before the country defaults on its loans. Washington, D.C. correspondent Raquel Martin has more.
After a nearly 3-month standoff between Democrats and Republicans, a deal could finally be in reach to raise the debt ceiling. Wednesday, Democrats said they're considering Republicans' short-term proposal to raise the debt ceiling through December.
This is an urgent matter. It must be resolved immediately.
The potential deal comes as Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen continues to warn inaction from Congress could cause an economic meltdown.
Let me be clear. This would be a catastrophic outcome.
But the White House isn't yet sold on a short-term deal.
We don't need to kick the can.
Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki criticized Republicans for refusing to do more. She says the American people need certainty.
The American people are looking at their retirement counts, worrying about their Social Security savings, members of the military worrying about their payments. We don't need to incur that risk.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who opposes helping Democrats raise the debt ceiling,
so they can spend more money on programs we think are better for the country, is not going to happen.
Says he's also not sure he'd support the short-term deal.
I don't see where that gets us much because we're right back in the same boat in December.
Republican leadership is offering to raise the debt ceiling by about $300 billion. Democrats are pushing for more.
And that was Raquel, of course, Martin reporting. We'll have more from her in just a little bit later on in our show. Here's a look at some other stories that are making news on our website today. More affordable housing is coming to Galveston as a new groundbreaking for more mixed income development takes place. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner and the mayor's Hispanic Advisory Board will honor 5 exemplary Houstonians as Hispanic Heritage Award winners. And Friends for Life is holding its annual gala while hoping to usher in a new era of sheltering animals. For more on these stories, head on over to our website, CW39.com.